There's different phases. The first phase in architecture was people started talking about sustainability, energy, conservation material, which is part of the response to climate change. In fact, it is the response. It has to do with the carbon footprint, although we didn't call it that. So if I think back to my early practice, and I wasn't the only one, several of us believed in being responsible. We shaded our glass, we didn't have glass towers that are exposed in the tropics. We made buildings that you could ventilate, and you know, the footprint of buildings tended to be smaller, which was always means more daylight, more natural ventilation. Air conditioning was one of the things that profoundly changed architecture, because all of a sudden you weren't dependent on the exterior, so they got deeper, and less humane as they got deeper. And so we tried to counter that trend. Now there's all kinds of flags involved. One is climate change, the other one is green buildings, and people put a lot of green on their renderings, but there's a lot of what I would call cynical responses and other profound and responsible responses. I believe that the problem for us as architects is that the scoring system that's been created, like the LEED's way of platinum and gold, are completely quantitative. So in theory, as I demonstrate when I want to make the point, someone conceived of a dormitory where the living rooms have windows and all the sleeping areas, bedrooms you'd call them, are in the center of an enormous block. That building qualifies for platinum because it's very compact, there's no energy loss, but qualitatively, the idea of a bedroom without a window, which to me is just no, unacceptable, does not get penalized. So I think for architecture, climate change and qualitative and quantitative assessment of the outcome of the environment are something very important. To me, it's important, for example, if you're doing a school, it'd be a wonderful place for learning. We have to have some way of assessing what that is in comparison with just the qualitative measures. Myself, in terms of my attitude to climate changes, I think there have been major climate changes in the past. We know that Europe was covered with ice 15,000 years ago, not very long ago. People migrated, things changed. I think it's good news for Canada. You know, half the tundra is going to become the most arable land, like the Ukraine of, and it's not good for other places. I think that is why we'll see extraordinary migration. There's nothing going to stop that. No laws are going to stop the force of people having to move because of climate change. Much of the immigration that's caused by famine and by just years and years of no rain in certain countries, is just, even Syria as a war is basically a climate change war.